That's all it is.
Twain/Twain.
Hang on to it and pull it.
Sweet.
You learned something.
Gotta grow
today.
some firearms here.
You're a good teacher. Okay, it is 2 o'clock or a minute after. Jay is having some doctor stuff today, so I'll be chairing the meeting. Number one is call the meeting to order and ask for approval of the agenda as presented. Motion made and seconded. Madam Clerk, you do have it. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. So we just have a quorum, Doug and I and Steve, it constitutes our quorum. Haven't heard anything from Joe. His sister's funeral was last Tuesday, but he was here Tuesday night. I went right by there this morning. Disclosure Committee, I don't think there's any conflicts. Pardon?
Approval of minutes?
Yes. Call for approval of minutes as
Moved. Second.
motion made and second. Discussion on the motion. All in favor, say aye. Carried unanimous. Public comments, Chad, you're usually in charge of anybody that registers.
We don't have any public
No
comments.
public comments. Hearing none. Number 6, I don't see anything. Number 7, we'll turn it over to our administrator, Dr. Vince Netherland.
Yeah, just a couple of quick things. COVID, I'll leave the big report to the board meetings, but we have seen in the past week or so a continuing decline, which is a good sign. I think we average like 3 a day over the weekend, but weekends are always slow for maybe reporting reasons. But we're down to that 5 or 6 a day, which is more than we'd like, but it seems like it continues to trend down like the rest of the state and the nation. One of the things I know we've talked about as a priority is broadband. And I've been working with Chad. We're going to look into a potential, and this is early stages of planning, but look at broadband, a countywide broadband study. In other words, not just necessarily broadband, but rather what are the needs in the county? What are the different strategies or techniques or technology that could be used here? And how and where could we use it? So we're looking at a study so that once we get this, we can say, here's where we want to dedicate resources to start building better internet service to people throughout the county. Ours is a little unique. St. Croix County has just put out an RFP to have a study done. Their county is different. It's not as rural, so to speak, as ours in most cases. We're looking at a majority of our citizens living out in the country, and we need to find different technologies to get to them. So those are a couple of things that you all might be interested in.
Vince, do you know if on the governor's budget, broadband was the number one priority in his budget? And everything got struck by our less conservative thinking.
Right.
But do you know if any representatives have any information on what the legislature is proposing in their budget? I haven't seen none of it.
Have not. The only thing I've heard is that it looks like what I've seen similar to what they've done in the past. They will encourage broadband expansion. That's good. We want to continue that. We support that. But, as our broadband expansion has really increased the last several years, but it's putting a fiber optic cable in the ground and running it past a bunch of homes and businesses. That's tough when you have a rural area. So we think it's going to take a combination of broadband to the more populated areas, and then maybe some of the newer technology where they can do it via satellite and other ways to get it to homes that don't have access to that fiber optic link. But again, I would just say this is what we want to look at in this study, which would give us an idea of what technologies work where, and then we could start putting together ideas to put plans in place.
Does the sheriff's department or your, do you have any input into broadband or do you get any information as to any progress?
Not really, no.
This morning, Mr. Chairman, we were heading for Fall and we left Frederick on W and they were putting fiber optic out by West Sweden. Heading, I think into Port Burnett County.
Yeah.
I mean, they're working on it, but
Right.
I don't have, like you said, a plan to know what they're doing.
It's, I think since the Board of Supervisors, back when I was with the EDC, passed the new resolution to support
Yeah,
broadband, Lakeland, what used to be Amorytel, Northwest Com, I believe it's called now, have really laid a lot of cable star wire up out of Siren. It's coming down into the northern of the county. And they're making great progress, but we still got lots of gaps. And most people that you talk to probably in your districts will say, boy, my internet service is bad. Well, they can get it usually, but we want it to be faster so that businesses, school children and all that benefit.
I talked to one of the people at Lakeland and they're doing all they can. And they cover things north of Highway 8. They haven't done, as far as I know, anything south.
They
And
dipped
then
into,
we got Amory and Amory's connected with Somerset. And they're working in St. Croix County, but that leaves really us from the county line north. That just leaves a big dead area there where there's a lot of population and I don't see any company interested in that area really.
yeah, and that's why we're going to look at different technologies to see if there are other ways to get high-speed internet out to people who don't live along that fiber optic line. If you're in a metro area, I think it's much easier to run cable everywhere because if you get a percentage of homes to sign up, it's worth their while. If you're not going to run a cable for 6 miles out toward Clam Falls and then have 4 people sign up.
Or
that's pretty
Mr. Burrows,
expensive.
he should have, on the river road there, he should have broadband and he could get all the cables that would help farming. Okay. Thanks for that information. Anything else, Dr. Vince? Number 8, we'll turn it over to you, Dr. Mose.
Yeah, Mr. Chair. Have a copy of our finances for last year, our financial book. Got it on there. You can see we increased our fund balance in highway by about $900,000 this year. Other than that, we've going well. Projects are on track right now on the federal projects. The bridge overlay on the bridge over Church Road there, or that one's being a little bit different now. Bureau of Structure now wants us to do a deck replacement over the thing instead of an overlay, which leads us into a little more
Is that by Mud Lake, you mean?
on Church Road.
Oh, the one on Alden, yeah.
Yep, on the Apple River there.
Yeah.
And that
What
leads us
did they
into,
want for a change?
they want to change it from an overlay to a deck replacement. Which begs the problem, you put a 40-year deck onto 1970 abutments, will the abutments outlast the bridge deck? So we're getting more clarification from the Bureau of Structures on why they want to make that change.
In other words, they want to jackhammer that's a cement base.
The entire bridge deck,
They want to jackhammer that all out and,
place it abutment to abutment, yeah. Which is going to triple the cost of the project right now, so.
well, that overlay would certainly suffice that.
It makes more sense in the rehab part of it, being that the abutments are 1970s. So when the bridge is due for replacement, then in 15, 20 years, you replace the whole structure with the abutments and everything versus putting now a 40-year life deck on abutments that might only last 20 years. So working through that right now, just got off a meeting with them prior to this meeting with that. Other than that, summer projects are ramping up. County M should be starting here mid-June. You should start seeing some signs going up here shortly in the next couple of weeks. And other than that, just finding other stuff lined up for projects.
Hey, any questions for Hearing none. Good report. The sooner you start countering them, the better. Is there anything we can do to influence just an overlay on?
No, I have Dan Federley working on it with the WCHA also, and we're going through the state on updating and revising the local program. For that. the
Would
stretch
any
three-
information from the Alden Town Board help?
Dan Federley's reaching out to them, to
Okay,
Keith on that one. So,
because I remember back when I was on the town board, they came to us. It was scheduled. Thanks. What do we got for number 9? Sheriff Walken, all the people you got recruited today.
We got a lot for you today.
Got all day, so don't be in any hurry. Think and swim.
I don't know if Jill's gonna answer or not. This is a busy month for us with June. A group of us are gonna be traveling to Phoenix to see one of our deputies, Andrew Vitalis, get his Deputy Sheriff of the Year award. The National Sheriff's Convention is in Phoenix, Arizona, end of the month, so a bunch of us are going. Be a great opportunity for our agency. That is the second one this agency is getting because Mike Severson was given that award back in 1992. So for a small agency to get 2 of those awards, it's pretty special. The other thing, we're trying to get the Drug Endangered Children program kicked off here in June. Been working with Corporate Counsel's office, Lee Wallen with Child Protection to restart the DEC program. And we're working on getting the MOU taken care of within the next 2 weeks. So DEC is a good program, and I think we've been following the DEC protocols. There's just been a lack of organization because a lot of key players have left the county, for various reasons. So it's something that we're gonna reinvigorate and go after. The other thing is, next week we'll select a jail captain for Polk County Sheriff's Office. We had several internal candidates apply, so we're excited about that. So that'll get us to next month's meeting where we're gonna host over at the Justice Center, and we'll do that jail tour, and we should have onboarded by then our jail captain, who you can all meet.
We probably meet him in July then.
Yes.
All
Or
candidates?
her, or her,
Oh,
because I don't wanna, I haven't looked at the apps.
thanks for the correction.
Could be, So yeah, anyway, so that's where we're at with that. We'll have that selected and we'll get to the tour next month. This is also our busy season. We got through the holiday weekend pretty well without too much crazy excitement. It was a pretty good weekend. We had one serious motorcycle accident, but I believe that the operator is going to survive, so that's a good thing. Other than that, it's just this weather and this time of year brings out a lot of busy activity for us. Any questions?
Want to introduce the staff here so we can get it in the clerk's report.
Yeah, we have Jill Stoffel. She's going to be giving a presentation, and then Chief Deputy Burrows as well.
Well, this is part of your agenda item about 911. We're going to kind of loop in our radio towers as well. All our dispatch services.
The presentation is a little bit formal. I was told to come here and just kind of give you an overview on our communication center.
We like it informal.
So I recognize some of you. Not a lot has changed in our communication center since the last several years. Just kind of give you an overview. We still have 12 people that work there. I'm the administrator. We have a frontline supervisor, and we have 10 communications officers. Right now, we are down 1 position. In addition, we had some COVID and some illnesses, so our staff is working a lot of hours right now trying to keep up with the summer traffic. Just to give you an idea of the volume that we're handling, that has increased greatly over the last few years. We take an average of 77,000 incoming phone calls into our dispatch center. We're about
A year?
Yes, per year. We're about 5 to 1 emergency versus non-emergency calls. As far as 911 goes, we're about 4 to 1. People use their cell phones instead of their landlines, so that has also changed the environment that we work in. We take about 40,000 requests for service per year that we dispatch either a law enforcement agency, fire and first responders, ambulance, something like that too. Busiest day of the week is Friday. I'm surprised, that would be Saturday. And July is typically our busiest month, so we're coming into that now. We have a lot of technology in the communication center, and we typically upgrade something major each year. Last year, we did our 911 system upgrade, and we did our software on our radio system. This year, the big project is a microwave upgrade, and I believe the chief deputy has been talking to you about that.
We're looking at next year, looking at improving or upgrading our microwave system on the radio towers. It's 16 plus. It's going to be a major project.
Some of you will remember that was part of our big radio upgrade in 2006. We're still utilizing the existing microwave system as our backhaul.
That's the current radios that your staff has now.
It's the infrastructure. It's the radio towers. It's what connects our radio tower system. That is obsolete, no longer supported. So that's something. And we have a pretty substantial computer-aided dispatch upgrade coming this fall.
Any questions?
Do you get any grants or money assisted federal or state or anything to help when you have these upgrades?
We've had a lot of success historically. I don't know of anything right now for the microwave system. But historically, we've seen a lot of it.
Any questions for the communications or deputy?
I would just add that Jill and her staff do a fantastic job of handling all these emergencies. And people take it for granted when they call 911 in a panic, but they are the calm voice you hear at the end of the radio. And that is what gets the ball rolling for all these, crazy incidents that happen in the county. And it largely goes unnoticed sometimes. So I applaud the job Jill does. I think she does a fantastic job, and her staff are well-trained and well-equipped.
Man, were you able to get the stats of the number of calls and if we have that in our report there? There's so many people now with the technology that are reading the minutes of our committee meetings and our county board meetings.
Busy center.
Well, thank you so much and
Mr. Chair,
yeah,
comment.
yeah.
During that July storm, I listened to just about every call. I think Milltown Fire was on 21 calls. And the calmness that came out of that dispatch center, I just sat there in awe. How they just rolled it along, how they communicated with them, how they checked to see if they're done with that call, with the next call. I mean, it just flowed perfectly. Very impressed.
Our longevity is pretty unheard of. A lot of our staff are, probably 3 of our staff are over 20 years with our department. So we don't have the turnover that you see in the nationwide exposure. My last 2 positions that we keep having to replace, but we've got a lot of longevity.
I would think the longevity speaks to the administrator here.
We have a really good group.
We do. We'll meet them all again in July. Good sheriff. Okay, well, thanks so much, folks. When is your trip to Phoenix?
The 22nd through the 24th is the conference.
Of June?
Yep.
We can save the county some money then, because you can stay in my house and my Jeep is sitting in, so you don't need to rent a car.
Is there air conditioning?
When you got the top off. We keep the meeting a little informal. That's all right. Thanks so much then, and we'll turn it over to Chad on your CJC progress.
So
Little bit of graduation.
we had the graduation, that went well. Thank you for those who attended. We do have a for living event Saturday they have the annual fishing day down at the Lions Park in St. Croix Falls. where past graduates and current attendees and their families and all that come to fish.
Nice.
So if you guys want to join in, there'll be food and stuff like that. Saturday at Lions Park, I think around 10 a.m. it's starting. Our CJCC coordinator, Susan Caparelli, who we hired, I want to say last September, informed me last week that she's taking the newly created CJCC director position in St. Croix County. I can't fault her. It's a much bigger position. They're investing millions in their program. So she will be leaving us June 8th. So I've got the position opened up. I just looked and I have 3 applicants. So I just opened it up Thursday night. So we're getting applicants for it. Having said that, we've got TAG grant funding coming up. It's a 5-year funding cycle that supports the CJCC. I'm going to recruit UW Extension once again. I met with their director today to help us in their interim while we have a vacancy in the CJCC coordinator to help us with the TAG grant. We are moving the diversion case coordinator position, which was newly created last year. We're moving it to the DA's office to be housed in the DA's office. We're going to do a 6-month trial. It's commonly housed within district attorney's offices throughout the state. And we're hoping by housing that position there and giving that person the backing of the DA, law enforcement, the DA, and diversion, it forms a nexus between the law enforcement and district attorney, and we can beef up diversion programs. So we will move her there. I met this morning about that. We'll start housing her there July 1st. And if it does improve the program and increase diversion candidates, then in the budget proposal, we'll be proposing moving it from Department of Administration. And on your budget question, Johnny, I was looking at the omnibuses. So the Joint Finance Committee last Thursday took up public instruction and higher education and passed those. And it doesn't look like they met today, so they'll meet again Thursday. So all the other issues, like you were asking about, JFC hasn't met about yet. So we'll update you guys as we see them, but I'm looking now and there hasn't been anything along the lines.
Looks like your office is very progressive. If I remember right, there should be room in that DA's office. I remember when there was that area where the records were that took up a lot of space.
Yeah, we've got office space for her. We're getting the IT set up. And the district attorney is really engaged in this idea. So, the CJCC is about partnerships and about engaging the organization. So the DA's office is highly engaged in this idea. They like the idea, so we're going to try it for 6 months. And if so, we'll transfer that position under the DA's office.
I think that sounds.
This is a bit of history. CJCC only fell under Department of Administration because we couldn't clearly see where it should be. So, as we're reorganizing, it's possible that we'll fragment out the 3 positions and house them in various departments in the county with the same philosophy, the same goals. It's just where they're best functionally situated.
I'm glad you got some candidates already.
Yeah, I'm impressed with the fact that I'm already getting candidates.
Any questions for? Jen? Hearing none. Doug, do you want to take number 11 up to date? Got good turnout here today. Were your
They did, they were
people?
all. But the chairman asked if I would reintroduce our representatives from the county. And Rick McGuigan has left already.
Yeah, he just.
He's from the southern group and also Polk County. Each one of them is a member of the Polk County ATV, UTV Council. We've got Melvin Smith on the left, and he's, did you say you're in luck or not in the luck club?
In the luck club.
Yeah, I thought so. But so he represents the luck. I mean, you were just work there, put trails in up in luck. And you got Dan Carlson in the back in the blue, and he represents both Burnett County and Polk County and the Luck Club. And he's very active in all of those. And Doug Johnson is with the Polk County ATV UTV Council.
Snowmobile and ATV council.
There you go. I should have put it all in there. So they really have been doing a good job on what's going on in the Sterling
And the
area.
thing we really appreciate so much is that the rewarding part of your work is the safety and, you know, with the signage and everything else, it means a lot more than light a day show.
So I didn't get here right away because of a funeral.
Yeah.
But,
Did you have anything for them to say or?
well, I'm gonna give what Rick had, and if they have something it would be a good idea.
Sure.
Rick talked about the signs, and they have come in the correct ones. And they're going to put them together tomorrow night,
Thursday night.
Thursday night.
Oh, it is tomorrow night.
Okay, and they're gonna assemble the signs, and their schedule is trying to have the first section done by July 1st.
Are your connecting points, are they pretty much coming to fertility on different areas? Between the county roads and all?
Road.
Each one of these where they're putting up the signage comes out of that original 6-mile loop.
Yeah,
So they're tying the 6 mile into these others. And they'll all come out, the one comes out to Evergreen, so if you don't want to come back through the ride, you can go down to Evergreen and get back to the landing in your truck.
Yeah.
And then the other two come out to different road to this. But anyway, they're all tying in so they can get back. And as far as the rain loop we're looking at, or they are looking at, Bob K. Krasnorski was here, and he rode that trail with Ben. He had slides, pictures to put up on the screen, and there's a lot of wetland that needs to be mitigated, and they think the first step of that is to get DNR approval so that it might end right there because of the wet spots. Cost of fixing that they projected today on the screen, if I could get this apart.
I know that's always your goal is to get it to flow through connections.
But that was upwards around 950,000 that their estimate was right now, if they were gonna mitigate the whole thing. So it might be cost prohibitive also, prohibitive. But those are the options that we're looking at through the county and see what can be done. That would be the EIO.
Huge job of townships, county and our sheriff's department. And everything else.
It all works together.
Well, it was, I think, a informative meeting today, the half I got in on.
Well, you're very dedicated. We certainly appreciate it. Any questions from anybody else as long as they're. Okay, well, thanks, Doug. Moving on to event number 12 back in your department.
Yeah, really nothing new to report. We just are doing some accumulating of companies that do different types of market studies analysis. So we're just doing some background research on them.
Okay. Then we got our boss lady here, 9/11. That you that takes care of that?
Yeah, we incorporated that part of it into
Yeah.
our.
Oh, so you really got that covered already?
Yep.
Covered it all.
Good. We like that. 14, then update of our 2021 work plan. That would be Moses. Got information on that, on our work plan?
I would refer that to the administrator.
I think the one thing that I think you all are aware of is next month we'll have the jail tour, correct? That would be at a different time.
We try to do that one at noon so that we can serve a lunch from the jail. So you can see.
Should we probably meet, what, 11 or?
Usually right at noon. Don't we do it at noon?
Yeah, that's what we did last
Yeah,
year.
So we just gonna meet over to the jail?
Well, we'll meet at the community room and you can hold the
Yeah,
meeting.
at the
And
community
then at the
room.
conclusion of the meeting,
We'll
those.
start our
supervisors-
meeting there.
Yep.
And then, I mean, we can have our whole meeting in the community room, can't we?
Right. That's usually what we do. We have the meeting at the community room. I serve the lunch trays there. And then when we're all done with the meeting, then we take the tour of the jail, those that would like to.
And you'll have that all, Savannah.
And if I could get, just a general head count, that helps me, like the week before, if we know who all is gonna be there.
I'll be there.
I imagine.
Because I would extend the offer if you want to invite all the supervisors, the new ones who've never been over to the Justice Center, maybe they would like to come for the tour, so. I know Reagan expressed interest.
So should we make a note of that on our county board meeting
That would be great.
2 weeks from today?
That'd be a great time.
Okay. You got that,
What about our
Savannah?
ad hoc committee? Should we meet over here and then run over there?
You want to do it at the community room beforehand?
We'll
You want to do it beforehand in the community room, you're more.
we'll just meet all together at the community room at noon for the jail, and if there's some other ones, we'll probably get an idea of Tuesday night, 2 weeks from tonight is our board meeting. We can get some kind of idea and get back to you.
Yeah, just so I can plan for the meal.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and I do encourage at least all the members of this committee, I think, should tour this year because you have the nearly $1 million upgrade of the camera system is installed and operational. I think you guys should see what the $1 million went into.
Yep.
That's our biggest expense for the past 2 years.
Go ahead, Doug.
You don't want me just to go alone?
But I think it would be good, when we talk about these significant expenditures, I think it's kind of good to
I
see
know
what
what you
it
did.
is.
But
But there's a good point there, Doug.
Everybody had a different situation last year. I think there was some help, a lot of help. issues.
But I will say, even though many of you have seen the jail before, that's a significant expenditure we made. And that camera system would be worth it.
What's the date on that, sir?
July 6th
Six?
should be recovered from the 4th by then.
I didn't know when it fell in the month, so.
usually the jail population is up a little bit after the 4th.
So that'll be the number one on our work plan in July. Anybody will have the ATV committee report again. You guys that generally meet as a group ahead of time, so that'll be on your agenda. So then, how are you gonna work that, Doug, then if our group is gonna meet, or do you wanna meet
Oh,
with?
if they meet at noon, can we all meet at 11?
In the community room over at the jail. Yeah. So that'll suffice.
Leave your pocket knives at home.
Yeah, every farmer has a jackknife and a pliers.
Get out to your car.
Anything else anybody wants to add? Otherwise, the clerk will be proceeding with the July agendas. I don't know of anything else. Anybody got any questions for? Otherwise, we can entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll move.
Clerk, motion, discussion, all in favor, say aye. Thanks, everybody.